everybody. Welcome to the Drive-Thru Review Patreon. So if you're watching this, you're probably on the Drive-Thru Review Patreon page. In the past, I've run a couple of Kickstarters to improve equipment, improve lighting, go to Gen Con, provide coverage there. But I've decided now to just run a Patreon campaign, just kind of let that run into perpetuity. So the reason for that is over Kickstarter is I feel like a Patreon can be a little bit more engaging, a little bit more back and forth between folks that like to watch my videos and myself. So I get a lot of requests for different kinds of videos. Hey, will you review this video? Or will you do a top 10 list on this topic? Or some other kind of special interest type of video. And so this is kind of a funneled way to really kind of weed out the noise a little bit, because I get requests here and there, and sometimes I get, a request for one person, and then sometimes I'll get a request for something from 10 people, and then I know that's what people really want to see, probably. But this is kind of a direct channel, and also a way for you to give back to me and for me to give back to you. There's going to be different reward levels, which I'll talk about at the end of this video, but really the heart of Patreon for somebody that provides a content like a podcast or a YouTube show is kind of that back and forth. Just an instant channel that you can just go through and you say, you know what, I really like Joel's videos, I'm going to give him $1 a month or $2.50 a month. And then I can have some impact on what he actually produces. So I'll have, talking about now the reward levels, once we hit $200 a month, then I'll open up a poll, and I'll have a big list of games. You can vote on the games that you want me to review, and I'll try to get like the top 2 or so every month, knock those out in addition to all the other stuff that I'll be reviewing. And of course, you can always send me messages and add things, kind of like nominate things for the list, and I can add them to the list. So there's going to be that kind of aspect. I'll also have bi-monthly YouTube Google Hangout kind of thing where people can join in. It'll be just for Patreon backers, and we can just talk about whatever. We can sit and talk about Game of Thrones strategies for an hour, or we can talk about whatever, just kind of have a nice Q&A, and I'll try to have different guests on and things like that. So that's a nice kind of avenue as well. And then also eventually there's going to be some promo rewards. I'll have some promo rewards that people ask me a lot about for my previous campaigns. And instead of like getting in this number crunching and schedule crunch with different promos for different games, and trying to time them all for the year, what I'll do is I'll refresh that pool of promos. So for every $10 that you put in, so if you put in $1 a month, on the 10th month you can pick from whatever the available promos are. If you put in $10 a month, you would be able to get one every month if you really wanted. You could pick the same one. You say, you know what, I want the Robinson Crusoe promo this month, and then this month again, and this month. So I'll add and kind of refresh that pool of promos over time, and I've got some discussions going on now for stuff to come over the next several months and going into next year. So that'll be fun as well. And then it also gives me a way to kind of disable the YouTube ads. I did that in all through 2015. All the videos that were uploaded, none of them had a YouTube ad on it. So once we hit that goal, we'll be able to do that. And I'm also, open to feedback on terms of what other goals and rewards and things that people might want. So we can just open up that dialogue. So it's a way for you to give back to me, and also in turn for me to give back to you above and beyond just the videos, and kind of open up a more natural kind of way of communicating. One thing that I've really started to kind of evolve is not just always doing reviews, because when I started off I just did review, best of the year, review kind of thing, and then started splicing in some top 10 lists, and then some kind of more general vlogs, maybe on some weird topics for board games, and then now with the hobby videos, kind of evolving that into sort of reinvesting a lot into maybe 1 or 2 particular games where you paint minis and build terrain, and you do all that kind of stuff like that. So to me, the hobby is more about just buying all the new games, right? That's a big part of it. It's very fun. You buy a game, you play it 5-10 times, and then you move on. That's great. That's perfect. I like to do that too, right? Everybody likes that. But there's all these different aspects of the hobby. There's all these different types of ways that you can get involved and you can participate. When I'm painting a miniature, I feel like I'm participating. I'm reinvesting. I'm creating this character, giving it more life than if I just, opened the mini and then left it unpainted and untouched out of the box. I'm reinvesting that love and that enthusiasm back into the hobby in lots of different ways. So that's hopefully something that we can, you know, talk about and work out together as well, because that's something that this whole thing is very much a process that I'm going through, as well as I think everybody else kind of goes through the same process at home, right? So definitely take a look at the Patreon page. You know, I'm happy to hear any feedback and, you know, provide me anything that you need, and I appreciate the support. Otherwise, you know, money or just verbal support is always good, and hopefully I can give some of that back to you as well. So thank you for watching. Take care.